Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday morning Facebook Live here at Briggs Health. My question that I'm going to be answering today is, how many needles does it take to have an acupuncture treatment? And it's a question that sometimes people ask me sort of indirectly because they'll be on the table and I'll be treating them and they'll say, "So how many needles do I have in now?" And, you know, Um, I'm not a counter by nature, so I don't actually count as I go along, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Apparently, some people do this. Like they could tell me how many slats are in the blinds over the windows because they just naturally count things, and I don't naturally count things. Um, so, but what I can tell you is that every acupuncture treatment is different, and I try never to use more needles than the person needs. Now, people have a very people's reactions to the needles vary a lot. Some people I could put 50 needles in them and they wouldn't care. They would be like, "Okay, have more, put more in, you know, treat everything." They just have a really high tolerance. I don't really have that personally. When I get treated, I don't need very many needles. So that's actually the thing that's more important to me than anything else is how is the person reacting to the treatment? Um, I have a I have a couple of people who are like five, I think of them in my mind as like 5 needle patients. And for those people, I actually do count, but I don't have to because 5 is the number that you can just recognize. But you don't have to count anything 5 or less, which is a weird little tidbit. But so with my patients who are really needle sensitive, I'm very careful to choose the points in order of importance. Um, so I'm not going to do extraneous points. I'm not going to try to calm their liver down and their spleen and like treat their kidneys because it's too much. Their body doesn't need that. It can't handle it. Um, and and then if somebody is kind of like, "Oh, did you even do something?" then I know that their sensation of the needles is really low, so I can, they're not feeling it a lot. So so I can actually do more needles in someone like that. So it's really a very personal thing that I change from person to person, which is partly why there isn't really an exact answer. Um, so I try to use always the fewest number of needles to get the effect that I want. And if there, almost always I will treat an organ or two, but I try not to try to treat more than 2 organs um, in any one treatment because the body really does get a little confused uh, if you try to do too much. So, and then there are point combinations where I can actually treat multiple organs with just maybe 2 or 4 needles. So, and that's a different type of treatment. It's not pinpointed to one organ, but sometimes people just need a general overall movement of chi or blood. So it might be a very simple treatment, just maybe 4 needles and maybe one in the forehead for relaxing and calming. I will do treatments like that sometimes. But the rule of thumb, use as many needles as the person can tolerate and that gets the effect that I'm looking for. Um, When I do trigger point work, when I'm working directly on muscles that have knots in them, I will sometimes use more points because I want to make sure that I get those knots out so that the muscle can relax and it restores movement to the joints and to the body. Um, yeah, so sometimes I use more, sometimes I use less. There is no rule of thumb. There's no, you have to have this many number of needles to have it be an acupuncture treatment. Um, it's just, the fewest number that I need. So if you or anyone else has a condition that you are wondering if acupuncture is good for treating, please call. You can find us online at briggshealth.com. That's BRIGGSHEALTH.com. We're always happy to talk to people, answer questions. And if you have a random question like this, you can email it to me, info@briggshealth.com. I love answering questions and look forward to talking to everybody. Thanks for tuning in and have a great week.